Welcome to day 3 of 42. I love getting up early in the morning. And that's not a lie either. I'm not saying that for the camera. Getting up, getting your sessions done before the world has a chance to fucking do your head in is the best thing that you can do. Before work starts to wind you up, before the traffic is busy, before the gym gets hammered and you can't think, just fuck it, I'll go later, I'll do it tomorrow. The best thing you can do is just getting up first thing in the morning and getting it done. Because otherwise, what else are we doing? We could wake up literally 45 minutes earlier, bang, brush your teeth, out the door, have everything laid out the night before. When that's done, guess what? You just get it done. You don't have to think about it. You don't reason with yourself. The only thing you've got to do that takes conscious effort is get up out of bed. Because when you're dropping out of bed, you're not going to get back in it. It's so much better. You've got more time for yourself after you finish work. You've got more time for yourself after you finish training. You get that level of increased stress from training. Get that done in the morning, which means that you're going to sleep better later at night. It's so much better. But this is day 3 of 42. The main thing that I want to touch on today, the main purpose of today's maybe it was all over then. The main purpose of today's video is to discuss training. I want to run through what a full week of training looks like. I want to run through what set by set, session by session from my strength work, from my running, what that looks like over the next 42 days, so we can sort of see where I'm going to be trying to make progress, where I'm trying to just basically the methodology behind what I'm doing. Yesterday was nutrition. Today we're talking pure training. Welcome to the jungle. I've got Guns N' Roses in my head. I've not listened to Guns N' Roses for a while, so I have no idea where they're in the forefront of my brain. Right, let's talk training. Let's talk the training methodology that I'm going to be running over the next 6 weeks. In my ultramarathon, the thing that I think I neglected the most out of the entire preparation for it and the lead up to it, 110% was strength training. And it just become completely unenjoyable. I sort of got lost with what it was for. I completely lost sense of why I was doing it. Then I started to dread the sessions, which only led to me not wanting to do them, which led to poor execution, which led to, when I was running, muscular breakdown because I didn't have that level of strength, especially in my legs. It just wasn't there. Now, the key metrics that I'm working towards, the key things that I'm tracking over this 42 days is to get that consistency back and make training enjoyable again. So in terms of tracking that across this 42 days, I want to make sure that every single session gets done to the best of my ability on that day. If an injury were to occur, then obviously that would have to change, but that's what I want to do. I want to make sure this 42 days is about getting consistency back, getting a clear through line, something that I'm pushing towards, and just giving it everything. I found that as it was getting deeper into the running, I started to neglect it, which meant that when I started to neglect it, I started to feel a bit weaker. And then when I was going back again, it just felt so much harder. And then because of that, it becomes this sort of cycle where you sort of get lost as to why you're doing it and don't really want to do it. Still did it, but there wasn't any intensity there. There was no sort of thing that I was working towards. So in terms of the schedule that I'm working towards, Monday is going to be a full body strength session, Tuesday being a run, Wednesday, this morning, being a full body strength session, tomorrow will be a complete rest day, Friday will be an easy run, and then Saturday will be my long run, and Sunday will be off. That's about 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week, that is literally all that you need to get consistency back in your training, to feel fitter, to feel stronger, to feel healthier, and to run and lift and do them both at the same time. There's this sort of idea that if you're a runner, you're going to be the skinniest person in the world. Otherwise, that's the only way you can do it. If you're just a lifting, if you just do strength training, you're going to become a bodybuilder. You're going to become this massive Olympia stage level athlete where it's just bollocks, in it. It's briefly like what I spoke about on Monday, where there's no nuance to things anymore. There's this thing where you've almost feel like you've got to put yourself in a box. You're either a runner or you're a bodybuilder. There's no middle ground. There's no sort of thingy where, I do that because I enjoy it. I run and I lift because I want to be fitter, but I also want to be stronger and I want to be bigger and I want to look better. So I do that. So existing somewhere in the middle of that, and you can do that for 5 hours a week, 110%. And this is why I'm doing this. Is what I've proved. So over this 6 weeks, to prove that it is a success from a training point of view, from a fitness point of view, I'm tracking 3 metrics. 3 metrics. That's all I'm looking to improve over the next 6 weeks, and that is my resting heart rate. I want that to be coming down. My resting heart rate is currently sits on average about 44. I just want to see that to come down as I become fitter. And again, in 6 weeks, I'm not going to become marathon ready. I'm not going to become sub 25k ready, but I can make meaningful progress towards it with consistency and staying injury free. I want to see that start to come down. I'm also tracking my 5 kilometers, my 5k PB at a max of 155 heart rate. One of the things that I really, really struggle with is going too hard too soon. So the whole purpose behind what I'm doing at the minute is to do really, really low heart rate work. Again, something that I neglected in the lead up to the ultra marathon was doing this really, really boring work. Basically, I wanted to push it. I wanted to go faster. I wanted to run further, but I didn't build that base level of fitness, and it's something that needs to improve. The reason it's 5k is because I want to reduce that running volume down to the very, very bottom and then rebuild it from the ground up. I've got essentially an entire year before I repeat what I did a couple of weeks ago. So giving myself a full year to rebuild my running from the ground up. It feels a bit weird doing maybe 15k a week, but that's going to improve over time. So really, really happy with that. And then the final metric would be, again, like I spoke about just there, is training consistency. Are all of my sessions ticked? It's so easy to let that get away from you, where you think, oh, I'll push that back a day, or I'll just do this, I'll do this later. And it becomes this thing where it's hard. Like when you sort of you have a week where it goes off a little bit, that all or nothing mentality sort of starts to get straight in there. I've just seen a pigeon get hit by a car. That's put me well off my train of thought. I can't remember what I was speaking about. That's done me. That's actually really sad. Oh yeah, all or nothing. Right, we're back in the room. When you've got that all or nothing mentality, when you do miss a session, you just want to fuck the week off. When you miss, say, a day of nutrition because you've gone out, you've gone to the pub, you've nailed a load of pints, you've had a kebab on the way home. That all or nothing mentality, that thing of like, well, that day's not perfect, that day's been a bit of a write-off. What I need to just fuck it off. Whereas when you switch your mindset to one of avoiding that level of self-sabotage, the only way that you can get out of that is just making that next decision a good one. So if you, for example, you ended up nailing a Mackey's breakfast because that little switch went in you and you went, fuck it, I'm going to have that. There's an idea that the day then gets ruined. The day's done. That day is absolutely finished. So what do? We just make the next decision a good one. And when you sort of get into that habit of, okay, that didn't quite go to plan, let's make the next choice a good one. Doing that is one of the most important things that we can do. I just want to make training exciting again. Make training enjoyable again. I'm very much got my entire year planned out from a training perspective. So what can we do to make that the most enjoyable that it can be? Because when it's enjoyable, you want to do it more because you're actually, like, again, deep down enjoying it. When you're enjoying it more, it becomes easier. Training becomes easier. Everything else falls into line. You feel better mentally. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I've gone through periods of very, very low mood where my training probably isn't in a great place. I use that training as an outlet to feel better about myself. I use that training as the outlet to actually improve my life. Because when I'm not doing that, like, it's just not good. It's not good. I found that I can concentrate better. I've got more energy. I'm just in a much happier mood and I can concentrate better when I wake up first thing in the morning and I do some degree of exercise, whether it be running, lifting, whatever. When that heart rate goes up, I find that, right, okay, I've almost like weirdly like burn off a little bit of that extra energy. When I burn up a little bit of that extra energy, I can focus at work a lot better and I feel, again, a lot better. So in terms of like the actual full body strength sessions, like I'll run through what I did this morning, sort of like the setup for it. Exercise number one is always going to be my main lift that I'm working towards for that for that session. So this morning it was the Romanian deadlift. Working 5 sets of 5, just trying to gradually increase this weight week on week. Just it's very obviously 5x5 is very much a strength focused, like lower rep ranges. I'm just gradually trying to increase that over the next 6 weeks and see whereabouts I end up. The next thing is always going to be an opposite accessory. So if I did a hamstring dominant movement, it would be a quad dominant movement for the second exercise. For me today, that was a kettlebell or dumbbell cyclist squat. Really trying to work on really slow eccentric portion of the exercises. I've been told and I've been diagnosed with over the years with very, very poor knees, very, very poor patella tendon. I've had and still am recovering from patella tendonitis, which requires a little bit of a different approach to training quads, where squatting is in barbell back squatting probably isn't the wisest for me at the minute. I'm trying to rebuild to strengthen the ligaments, and doing that, I need to do things that are going to really, really like have a positive effect on that. And I find that doing really, really slow 1, 2, 3, 4 cyclist squats really, really helps me a lot with that. After that, it was a push and pull superset. So I did some like high incline dumbbell press alongside a dumbbell row. Really, really simple stuff. And I finished with some single leg calf raises on the Smith machine and some cable crunches to finish for the core. And that pretty much covers it. That's my training approach for this entire 6 weeks. When I run this for the public, when I run this to everyone else, you'll have the option between either a 3-day, a 4-day, and a 5-day split. So no matter whereabouts you are, I'll meet you where you are, and we can get that consistency back in your training. You can get that consistency, that level of enjoyment back in your training, because when you do that and we enjoy it, like I said before, you feel better about yourself. Using that training, using that hour a day, 3 times a week for you. You do it for yourself, for you to feel better about yourself, for you to put yourself first, and that's the main thing for it. I think that always tends to sort of come up when I think about what it is and why it is that I train. So yeah, make training exciting again, even, and make it enjoyable. Time to go and get meal number 1.